So therefore, if I'm not really selling you anything, what is it that motivates me every day? Well, it's an obligation to God primarily. I know you say, well, who is he kidding? What, are you kidding me? Take it for what it is. I don't really care whether you believe me or not. I know I mean every word I just said to you. You see, I was ruined in life several times, primarily by liberalism. Liberalism destroyed me, or almost destroyed me, and almost put me into the grave. The liberals, through affirmative action, stole my birthright. They took it from me. They turned me into a non-person, and they said that less qualified women and less qualified minorities only need apply. And they said, you shall not apply even though you are a white male. You're of no value whatsoever to our new America. Well, it was tough for me to bear. And had I let it get to me, I would have died or never struggled again. But I told you what happened. I told you how it happened. And it's amazing. It was a certain time in my life, and it was about 16 years ago. And everything had gone bad for me because of affirmative action and because of a few scoundrels in the vitamin business, ruthless gonoffs of the lowest order. Things had gone really bad for me. And I wanted to give up. I really did. Well, my son, we were living in this is an interesting story in a way. I had to move back to a house that I had purchased, a small house that I had purchased a few years before as a rental unit. And things had gotten so bad I had to move into my own rental unit. And it wasn't a happy time for us. The children were still teenagers, blah, blah, blah. So I was sitting in this dark little horrendous room that I called a study, which was really a converted nursery. It was disgusting with a little tiny window. There was nothing. There was no nobility in it whatsoever. It was a complete failure. And this was after a PhD, 2 master's degrees, 16 books. No matter what I did, it was like I had dug for oil. I was like a wildcatter, and 1,000 wells had come up dry. I said, I'm not doing this anymore. So I called my son in, who was a teenager, and I said, son, I'm not going to work anymore. I'm going to retire because there's no point to this. Well, he said to me, you can't retire. He said, that's giving up. He said, men retire at 65. I got so pissed off at him, I chased him out of the room, and I ran after him down the block. And you know what? Because of that, I was embarrassed. And for him, I had to get off my behind, get out of the gutter, and I had to struggle again. That's when I created the tape, the first radio tape. So help me God. A few months later, I created the mock radio tape and sent it out to 400 stations. And the rest is really history. That turned me around. But, you know, it was based upon a lot of prayer and a lot of thought and family. Family keeps us together. So, having said that, I had only asked God for one thing. During the darkest moments of my failures, or really I should say the failures of our society, which took some of the most talented white men in history and put them on the shelf in order to promote people who were less qualified, simply to make people feel better, and in order to introduce socialism to America at a faster pace, I said to God, all I ask you for is to give me a living. I beg you not for riches. I beg you not for fame. I beg you only for a living. Well, I now have a very good living in talk radio and as a writer. But you see, it came with a burden. Remember I told you that God answered my prayers, but there's always something attached to his answer? He didn't say, here, go, you're going to win the lottery. Because if he had said, here, because you suffered so much, my son, put $4 on number 933B7, and you're going to win $90 million in fastball or something. Well, I probably would have blown my head off by now if I had won some kind of lottery. I'm a worker. I was raised to work. I'm going to work until probably I can't work anymore. And it's because I was raised this way. It's in my genes. My father, to him, the most important value in a boy was working. Every time he mocked me, it was because I was too lazy or I wasn't working hard enough. And the way he mocked me is he would say to his friends when I was a little boy in his store, look at this, look at the worker I have for a son. He's a real hard worker, isn't he? And the other men would say, oh, come on, leave him alone. He's not a bad kid. He'll be a good worker. And my father would look at me and sarcastically say, yeah, look at the worker I have. Always dozing off or something to that effect. So to him, work was a great value. It's almost laughable in this hedonistic age that we live in where work is considered déclassé. Well, I know that there are many men who have much less than I do financially who are retired. And good luck to you if you are, and I understand it. But I'm not made that way. I wouldn't know what to do with myself from the beginning of the day to the end. I wouldn't know how to spend my time. Now, maybe that's sad. Maybe it is sad that I don't know how to enjoy myself on a golf course or a tennis court. It is possible. but it's not in my genes. I'm sitting here in my radio studio. I have the Bible that I've used for years. Some of you have seen in my few live performances, very rare. I've held this book up, the Holy Scriptures. It's a blue book. There must be 150 Post-its in this book by now, markings and Post-its. I can't find anything anymore. There's so many Post-its sticking out with arrows and this and Babylon and Wolf and Lamb and a babe is their master and an eye for an eye and kosher foods and last of the summer. So today I'm reading from Genesis, and I'm looking at this passage because I touched on it yesterday. And I swear to you, I swear on my own life, on this show today, this one sentence is somewhat and very obscurely marked with a yellow color, even though I never marked it. Never. I never marked it. I didn't mark it. There's a slight yellow. You know how you have, like you're a kid who's studying, they have a marking pen where they underline a sentence or two, something important, right? And this sentence is there in a very mild yellow. It says, therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. You know, this is so important for me to read to you today because of the homosexual propaganda, which is almost all-encompassing today. The gays do not stop. They are relentless. They are brainwashing an entire generation to believe that homosexuality is equal to heterosexuality, that it is almost more godly to abort a child and almost more godly to not have a wife if you are a man than it is to do the right thing. It's unbelievable to me how a kid today, his mind is poisoned in the schools. The mind is poisoned when he turns on a television set. The mind is poisoned when he clicks on AOL or Yahoo or any of the other servers. Everywhere you turn, there's more propaganda about homosexual marriage and how good it is and how it's an oppressed minority because they're not being given equal rights. It's all a lie. It's a gigantic fraud and a gigantic lie. Every religion on earth prohibits that behavior. There's not a culture, there's not a civilization that encourages this behavior. It's astounding to me. And the only way to counter it is with the truth of reality. Look at nature. Look at nature and look at the going forth and multiply. It is the reason for living. Be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. There is no other way to do it. Don't tell me about, I don't want to even go into the obscurity of the lesbians who are having children. It makes me puke. It makes me nauseous to think about the unnaturalness of people who are inseminating themselves in that manner and creating a child. It's almost an abomination to me. I'll be very frank with you. I find it nauseating. So that's my interpretation of what's going on here. We're living through amazing times. The problem is we wouldn't even be talking about this if these elements did not control the media. If these elements of liberalism, and that's what they are, make no mistake about it, they're all intimately tied up together. If these elements did not control the movies that are projected to the world, if these elements did not control what comes out in the newspapers, if these elements did not control the imagery on the news shows, we wouldn't be this weak, sick nation that is falling apart. Trust me on this. We wouldn't be falling apart. Catering to the radical Muslim who stages a game at the airport. Now they're eating it up. Anyone with a brain could see what these phony imams did, except for the rats at CNN. Paula Zahn with a scarf. She can't get enough of the Imam Act. The Imam Act for Paula Zahn. They're all victims. All innocent victims. Paula Zahn, CNN, innocent victims. She can't see that they staged it as a probe in order to break down our resistance to a terrorist attack. She didn't see that. We know they wouldn't conduct it. We know they're peaceful men. But we know they were seeing if they can get away with gaming the system and breaking down some of the Patriot Act and some of our security concerns. All part and parcel of the same mentality. Don't you see the connection? Don't you see how it's all interrelated? Don't you understand this? What I've been trying to tell you? The danger we are in is very clear. The way out of it is also very clear. We absolutely have to take control of the media. That's number one. When I say take control of the media, I mean don't watch that filth. Turn off those rats. Don't let them propagate their propaganda. Turn them off. Cancel your newspaper subscription. Do it today. Do it yesterday. You're doing it in droves. Their circulation is in the garbage because you've stopped buying the anti-family, anti-American rubbish that they publish. Good. Step one. Step two, turn off the televisions. Don't watch it. It's the devil's workshop. Off. Don't go to their movies. You don't need to go to Danny DeWino's movie, the stunt he pulled on the Slob show to get publicity for his movie. Who would go to a movie from that guy? He wasn't funny as of 10 years ago. Who wants to see him cavorting? Nobody. Don't go to their movies. Don't watch their television shows. Don't read their newspapers.